Hello, everyone. My name's Oliver Powell, and I was just taking a break today and looking through the news when I heard of this story of a homeless man near Tim Hortons in Vancouver getting water dumped on him. He wasn't harming anyone. He was just sitting there with his dog, just actually just sleeping, not even panhandling. When I heard that the manager of the Tim Hortons, let alone an employee, uh, assaulted a homeless man, my jaw dropped. You know, like, all right, nobody really likes to, whatever, to see homeless people or whatever. But some people are down on their luck. Some people need a little help, or some people are mentally unstable or mentally ill and just need other professional help or whatever. And a lot of times we just look the other way or shut them out in the gutter or something, and pretend they don't exist. But the thing you need to remember is that they are they're still people, and they need help, not to have water dumped on them, you know. And I got a clip here I got from CTV News, and just
He
watch.
says he was just trying to sleep. CTV News has tracked down the man witnesses say had a bucket of water dumped under him by the owner of a Vancouver Tim Hortons franchise. Now, the coffee and donut giant has apologized, but as CTV Scott Roberts reports, an online boycott campaign is gathering steam.
Customers come and go at this Tim Hortons in downtown Vancouver, but others are staying away, boycotting the restaurant after what the owner did to this homeless man and his dog late last week.
What he did was he came out with a bunch of, like a full bottle of bleach and a bucket of water and then just like soaked it everywhere, right? And I got my pup, right? Like it's poison.
Grant Faithful wasn't panhandling, just sleeping, when he says the owner poured a bucket of water around him, another homeless man, and their belongings, trying to move them away from the business.
We have to sleep outside. We have to deal with a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And that is just one of the everyday things that we go through.
Witnesses were outraged and the story went viral on social media.
Why kick someone when they're already down?
Arian Sumek started the online campaign calling for customers to shun the restaurant and Tim Hortons to take action.
My goal was to make this person regret their actions, make Tim Hortons do something about it.
No one here would speak with us today or even put us in touch with the owner. Tim Hortons wouldn't talk to us on camera either, but has now launched an investigation.
The company is also apologizing in a statement saying this: the regretful actions in a moment of frustration is not at all reflective of our brand. This owner is committed to personally apologizing and making amends with this individual. That hasn't happened yet. Still, Grant Faithful is glad the company is responding, touched so many people care.
It's a step in the right direction, that's for sure, man. It's good to know that people are actually, that people actually do pay attention to this stuff. They care,
And hoping the same thing doesn't happen to someone else.
And Scott joins us live from that Tim Hortons at Robson and Richards. Are there any plans, Scott, by the company to make amends to this man?
Well, the company claims it wants to speak to this man in person to offer him that apology. But get this, they won't do it if our cameras are there. So apparently Tim Hortons doesn't want this happening in the public eye. So it's still unclear at this point if that meeting is going to happen or not. Colleen.
All right, Scott, thank you.
So I'm just all I really have to say now is that an apology, I think, from the manager is not sufficient enough anymore. He needs to be dealt with, disciplined, or let go. You know, you're the manager of Tim Hortons, and you're like the face of Tim Hortons. Just like any person in uniform or something. You're representing the company. People are going to think that Tim Hortons as a whole is a heartless corporation, or they don't respect people, even though yeah he's homeless or whatever. But that shouldn't matter. I quick a few years back I was a baker at Tim Hortons, and I did a night shift, and this homeless person comes into my restaurant and he paid for a coffee. He had his coffee. It was like 11 o'clock or so at night. There was no one in the restaurant. He fell asleep in the corner, and I let him sleep. It was, this time of year, it's like minus 20, minus 25, and He wasn't bugging anyone. The restaurant was empty. I kept an eye on him as I was doing my baking for the evening. And if he was to cause a ruckus, yeah, I would have dealt with it. I would have asked him to leave or something. I wouldn't just throw water on him. I really hate seeing people making these homeless fight videos or getting people or getting homeless people to fight for a sandwich. That's disgusting. And what's also disgusting is the people who don't step in to help or stop this. You know, there are people out there uh, that will help a person in need or something. You see someone stuck on the side of the road or help someone change a tire or something. You know, but I don't know. I just wish that there was more people out there that would help out your fellow man. Instead of treating someone like a second class citizen just because they're down on their luck or they're mentally ill or something. You know, I'm not saying, okay, you're enabling them by giving them money or something, but I don't think enough communities are. I mean, I'm sure there's shelters and stuff out there. I don't know. I haven't really looked that much into it. I just saw a news story and it made me shocked because, it's disgusting to. So anyhow, and also the fact that they wouldn't apologize on camera. To me, that doesn't seem that sincere. If you're going to apologize, you should do it on camera. And um, you should have it broadcasted. If you really sincerely are going to apologize, then you should do it on camera. Or do something. Make like a Tim Hortons homeless fund or something. Just say, hey, this is what we're going to do to help the problem, to help fix the problem. Maybe have maybe this coming Christmas or something, have come in for a free meal, for Christmas dinner or something. That's the very least you could do, especially at that location. To say we apologize, so come in for a free meal. I don't know. That's all I really got to say on it. So like, comment, subscribe. What would you do in this situation? Tell me in the comments below what you would do in the situation if there was to deal with the person. Yes, okay, the business manager has the right to protect his business, and an interest, but you don't have to dump water on a person. You ask them nicely to leave, and then you go from there. If the guy was legitimately being a dick, then okay, then you escalate it a little bit. You probably call the police and get them to escort him out. But you just, I don't know, don't dump water on them, especially in the wintertime when it's cold out. I mean, yes, he's in Vancouver, so I don't know what the temperature is in Vancouver compared to the rest of Canada. But that's all I really got to say on that. So thank you for watching, and have yourself a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.